lineage of the Holy Roman Empire. 153. Both of these empires used the imperial title Kaiser, derived from the Latin word Caesar, the German word for emperor. The German Empire and Austria-Hungary, successor of the Austrian Empire, would both fall in the aftermath of the First World War, along with the Russian and Ottoman empires, which had also claimed succession from the Eastern Roman Empire. 154, 155, 156, List of Western Roman emperors. With junior colleagues listed below the reign of each emperor. Tetrarchy, 286-313. Bust of Emperor Maximian. The first Western Roman Emperor Maximian, 286-305, 157. Constantius I, 293-305, 158. Maximian was elevated to Caesar by Diocletian in 285, after Diocletian defeated Carinus. 159. He became Western Emperor in 286, with the establishment of the Tetrarchy. On the 1st of May 305, both Maximian and Diocletian abdicated, leaving Constantius and Galerius as emperors. 160. Constantius I, 305-306, 161, Valerius Severus, 305-306, 162. Constantius Chlorus was elevated to Caesar in 293, under Maximian. Constantius became the Western Emperor in 305, after the abdication of Maximian. 160. Constantius died on the 25th of July 306, leaving a highly contested succession in his wake. 163. Severus II, 306-307, 162, Constantine I, 306-307, 162. Valerius Severus was elevated to Caesar by Constantius in 305, after the abdication of Maximian and Diocletian. After the death of Constantius in 306, Severus became Western Emperor. Severus was forced to deal with the revolt of Maxentius, the son of Maximian. Maxentius invaded in early 307, and captured the Western Empire. 164. He had Severus put to death soon after his capture. 165. Maxentius, 307-312, 162. Maxentius was proclaimed emperor in 306, in opposition to Valerius Severus. He succeeded in capturing the Western Empire in 307, and had Severus killed soon after. 166. The Western Empire was invaded in 312 by Constantine, who on the 28th of October 312 decisively defeated Maxentius, who drowned when his forces were pushed back into the Tiber River. 167. Licinius, 308-313, 162. Licinius was made emperor of the Eastern Empire, and parts of the Western Empire, all of which was actually held by Maxentius, at the Council of Carnuntum, which was held in 308 in order to try to end the civil war in the Western Empire. Constantine invaded Licinius' section of the Western Empire in 313, and forced him to sign a treaty in which he forfeited his claim to the Western Empire, and only controlled the Eastern Empire. 168. Constantinian dynasty, 309-363. Bust of Constantine I, the founder of the Constantinian dynasty. Constantine I, 306-337, sole emperor, 324-337. 162. Constantine I was proclaimed Augustus of the Western Empire by his father's troops on the 25th of July 306 and was accepted as Caesar by Galerius later that year. In 307 Maximian promoted him to Augustus, and in 309 he proclaimed himself as the Western Emperor, in opposition to Maxentius and Licinius. He was the sole Western Emperor from 312 to 324, when he became both Western Emperor and Eastern Emperor. 169. Constantine II 337-340, Emperor of Gaul, Britannia and Hispania 337-340. 162. Constantine II was proclaimed Caesar of the Eastern Empire in late 317. In 335, Constantine I allotted the inheritance his sons would receive after his death, which would take place 2 years later in 337, giving Constantine I control of Gaul, Britannia and Hispania. Constantine II's relationship with Constans I was tense, and in 340, Constantine took advantage of Constans' absence from Italy and invaded it. However, in the same year, he was ambushed by Constans' forces in Aquileia, and was killed. 170. Constans I 337-350, Emperor of Italy and Africa, 337-340, Western Emperor, 340-350. 162. Constans was proclaimed Emperor of Italy and Africa in 337, after the death of Constantine I. After Constantine II was killed in 340, while attempting to invade Constans' territory in Italy, Constans took control of the entire Western Empire. Constans was contemptuous of his army, who as a result proclaimed Magnentius as emperor in 350. Constans fled toward Hispania, but was captured and executed by an agent of Magnentius on the border. 171. Constantius II 351-361, Eastern Emperor, 337-351, sole Emperor, 351-361. 162. Julian, 355-361, 162. Constantius II was proclaimed Caesar in 334, and became Eastern Emperor in 337, after the death of Constantine I. After Constans was killed by the usurper Magnentius, Constantius laid claim to the Western Empire, and after defeating Magnentius in 351, took possession of it, becoming sole emperor. Constantius I died in 361, of a violent fever. 172. Julian, 361-363, sole emperor. 162. Julian was proclaimed Caesar in 355, before becoming emperor in 361, after Constantius II died of a violent fever in 361. Julian died in March 363, of wounds sustained during the Battle of Samarra. 173, non-dynastic, 363-364. Jovian, 363-364, sole emperor. 162. When Julian died in 363, he left no heir, causing a succession crisis. The Roman army elected Jovian as sole emperor. Jovian reigned only 7 months, in which he signed a humiliating peace treaty with the Sasanian Empire, under Shapur II. In this agreement, Rome surrendered 5 provinces and 18 fortresses to the Sasanians, in exchange for a 30-year truce. Jovian died on the 16th of February 364, due to either indigestion or charcoal vapor inhalation. 174, Valentinianic dynasty, 364–392. Bust of Emperor Valentinian II, a member of the Valentinianic dynasty's second generation of emperors Valentinian I, 364–375, 162, Gratian, 367–375, 162. After the death of Jovian, Valentinian I was elected. He divided the empire between himself and his younger brother, Valens, giving himself the west and Valens the east. Valentinian spent much of his reign defending Gaul against repeated attacks by barbarian tribes, only leaving the region in 373. In 375, while meeting with the Quadi, he suffered a stroke brought on by rage. 175, Gratian, 375–383, 162, Valentinian II, 375–383, 162. Valentinian I elevated his son, Gratian, to Augustus in 367. However, after his death in 375, his leading generals elevated his much younger son, Valentinian I, to Augustus alongside Gratian and Valens, who was emperor in the east. 176. Gratian showed a strong preference for the barbarian mercenaries in his army, especially his Alanic Guard, which inflamed the Roman population, to the point that in 383 Roman troops in Britain declared Magnus Maximus emperor, in opposition to Gratian. Maximus landed troops in Gaul, and attacked Gratian's troops near Paris. Gratian was defeated, and fled to Lyons, where he was murdered on the 25th of August 383. 177. Valentinian II, 383–392, 162. After the death of Gratian, Valentinian II succeeded him, although he only controlled Italy itself, with all of the western Roman provinces recognizing Maximus. In 387 Maximus invaded Italy, to depose Valentinian. Valentinian fled to the court of Theodosius, where he succeeded in convincing Theodosius to attack Maximus, and to reinstate himself as Western Emperor, which was done after Maximus was defeated in battle near Aquileia. 177. Valentinian continued to rule the Western Empire until 392, when he was probably murdered by Arbogas. 178. Magnus Maximus, 383–388, 179, 180, Victor, 383/384–388, 179, 181, 182. Magnus Maximus was elected emperor by his men in 383, in opposition to Gratian, and defeated him in battle in 383. Maximus was recognized as the Western Emperor by Eastern Emperor Theodosius I in 384. However, this recognition was revoked by him when Maximus invaded Italy and deposed Valentinian II in 387. Valentinian II fled to the Eastern Roman Empire, and convinced Theodosius I to invade the Western Roman Empire and restore him to the Western Roman throne, which he did in 388. Maximus was defeated in battle near Aquileia, and executed. 177, 179, 181, 182, Theodosian dynasty, 392–455. Emperor honors, as depicted by Jean-Paul Laurens in 1880. Theodosius I, 394–395, Eastern Roman Emperor, 379–394, Sole Emperor, 394–395, 162. Theodosius was proclaimed Eastern Emperor by Gratian on the 19th of January 379 after securing victory against invading barbarians along the Danube. He became sole emperor in August 394, after defeating the usurper Eugenius. Theodosius died of edema in January 395. 183, Honorius, 395 423, 162, Constantine 3, 409 411, 162, not recognized by Eastern Emperor but recognized by Honorius, accepted by the Senate, Constans 2, 409 411, 162, not recognized by Honorius and Eastern Emperor, recognized only by Constantine 3, note accepted by the Senate. Attalus, 409 410, 184, not recognized by Honorius and Eastern Emperor, accepted by the Senate. Constantius 3, 421, 162. Honorius became Western Emperor in 395, after the death of his father Theodosius. His reign was beset by barbarian invasions, and for much of his early reign, until 408, he was controlled by Stilicho, whose influence over Honorius would create a standard for puppet Western emperors. After 408 his reign was greatly influenced by the general Constantius, who briefly reigned as his co-emperor for a few months before dying of natural causes. He also faced the usurpation of Priscus Attalus, a senator who was proclaimed emperor at Rome in 409. Honorius died of edema in 423. 185, 184, Joannes, 423 425, 184, not recognized by Eastern Emperor, accepted by the Senate. Valentinian III was designated Honorius heir in 421, although he was not proclaimed Caesar, only given the title of Nobilissimus Pure. In 423, after the death of Honorius, a usurper named Joannes rose up, forcing Valentinian III to flee with his family to the court of the Eastern Emperor Theodosius II. Joannes was defeated by Theodosius in Ravenna. Valentinian III, 425 455, 162. Valentinian III was killed on the 16th of March 455. By Optila, a friend of Aetius, whom Valentinian had killed. 186, non-dynastic, 455 480. The following last emperors of the West were all accepted by the Senate, but 5 of them, Petronius Maximus, Libius Severus, Olybrius, Glycerius, and Romulus Augustus, were never recognized as colleagues by the Emperor of the East. 187, whether Avitus was recognized by the Emperor of the East or not is unclear. 188, Petronius Maximus, 455, not recognized by Eastern Emperor, 162. Petronius Maximus became the Western Roman Emperor on the 17th of March 455, after assassinating Valentinian III. 189. During his short reign, he provoked Gaiseric, the Vandal king, into invading the Western Empire and sacking Rome, by breaking a marriage agreement made between Gaiseric and Valentinian III. Maximus and his son Palladius attempted to flee on the 31st of May 455, however they were apprehended by a group of peasants, and either killed by them, or by palace servants wishing to curry favor with team. 190. 191, Avitus, 455 456, unclear whether recognized by the Emperor of the East or not. Avitus was proclaimed Western Emperor on the 9th of July 455, with the support of the Visigoth king Theodoric II. While he held support from the Visigoths, his rule alienated both the Roman Senate and people. In 456 Ricimer, a senior officer, had Avitus deposed, and ruled the Western Empire through a series of puppet emperors until his death in 472. 192, Majorian, 457-461, 162. Majorian was proclaimed Western Emperor the 1st of April 456, officially by Eastern Emperor Leo I. However, in reality Leo's decision was swayed by the influence of Ricimer. On the 7th of August 400